impress on people is do what works and do less what doesn't. Now, it's a simple little thing, but think about it. Now, militarily, I mean, in a revolutionary organization, I don't think that should be the principle. But as a broad principle, a lowest common denominator principle, do what works and do less what doesn't is not a bad principle. Like solidarity works, you know? Okay, where did this all start? Ginsberg used to give poet events down here in 1958. The Regents didn't like it, so they decided to buy out the land. It took them 10 years. 1969, we're over there, and it wasn't any place to have a free speech rally at Provo Park, which is now Martin Luther King Park. So we decided to make a park or a free speech area up here, and we're here 31 years later. There are many. I mean, if somebody asks me, well, okay, 2 deaths, 150 people have been shot, 10,000 arrests. I mean, 100,000 people involved in the park. That's the success, I think. It's just, and it's leaderless. It has a open meeting type of philosophy. And I think that's the key thing of the success. If you form other organizations, you have to look at what works and what doesn't. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now on reform. I'm a revolutionary. You use reform tactically. Reform is not an end in all. It's just not reform. You're not going to win. It's not a level playing field. So you have to look at reform tactically. Just throwing these things in. Now, reform, let's see. Down here, the big thing has been in the last year and a half has been the drug war. They have literally raided us here. They have last year twice as many marijuana busts and 3 times as many felony busts in the Telegraph Avenue. So they have the stats to sort of say the agreement was 10 years ago, if you kept the crime down, you could, have the park. Well, so they created a situation, arrested all of us around the drug war, and now they have the stats. Again, 3 times as many felonies last year arrested up here, and 2 times as many marijuana arrests. Yeah. So how do we, right on, how do we stop that? How can we physically, what can we do right now to stop it? Well, don't buy on Telegraph Avenue. We go up there and we buy things on Telegraph Avenue. Every merchant there, with the exception of La Fiesta, is against us. I'm serious. They're for more drug arrests. They secretly, through their Telegraph Avenue Association, have asked the police to arrest more drug war arrests. Because, why? Well, their profits have increased up there. They're getting more business. So the small merchants, the small petty bourgeois have less business. So don't support your enemy. Don't go up and buy anything. Go, excuse me, God damn it. Go to some other area and buy there, even though you might not like that other area. But these are the ones that are calling the pigs on you and getting you arrested here. You know? All right. Now, why is there a drug war? Now, here's where I was sort of started out, and I hope that Gerald and all kinds of the revolutionaries, every revolutionary, will listen to this.
Delacour! Woo!
Now, why is there a drug war? Well, my son said money. He's right. Keep people down. That was another thing somebody said. But the reality is, it gives them, the genius of the ruling class, it gives them a way to build prisons and a mechanism to the DEA, that could be the SS, they're the officers, and the future nationalization of all the police forces around this country for the up-and-coming labor struggle that every once in a while happens. Like it's been a little while in this country because we've been really repressed. I mean, you can't tell me that the conditions have been good at the job because they haven't. I'll take it from me, they haven't. 1 minute, okay. So, why do I know that? Well, was a struggle in '85 in England, and it was the last major struggle between capital and labor, and they used the nationalization of the police against the mobilization of the miners and cut off the country in half. And they already, through the Oklahoma bombing, have the laws, the federal laws in place to arrest people that cross state lines and commit a felony at a strike or something. Now that's in reality, that's today, that exists. That's what the drug war is about. Now you can say, okay, it doesn't affect me because only white people between the ages of 20 and 30, only 1 in 23 go to jail, where blacks is 1 in 3. 1 in 23, 1 in 3. That's the relationship. It doesn't affect me, but it does indirectly affect you. It is put us in the conditions, our standard of life, our working conditions are all gone downhill because the drug war is divisive and we don't have an effective strategy against it. It's destroying our unions. It's destroying every part of our society, along with all the rights and the constitutional rights that we supposedly have. It's destroyed them already. Fourth Amendment, First Amendment, free speech. So the reality is, an injury to one is an injury to all. And we have to look at, just because it doesn't maybe not affect our kids in this drug war, but in reality, it is affecting all of us because it's affecting our strength as a class, as workers. We are on the bottom as far as industrialized workers, as far as having rights. We work 2,000 hours a year, where a European country, Norway, works, or Sweden works 1,200 hours. 1,200 hours versus 2,000 hours a year. That's the difference. That sort of shows our strength. We're not on the top of the world as far as strength. Our unions are down to 10, 12%. European unions, 30, 20, but much more percentage. They were much more stronger. Pardon me?
The major candidates are drug felons.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, okay, I'm going to lead right into this.
Right on, Michael!
Thank you very much, Mike. And for that young man that made that point, I don't know if Gore was actually a felon. I don't know if he's busted, but he certainly admitted smoking marijuana. And were you there?